Breaking news suggested Donald Trump is facing serious trouble within the military community. Up next, we will break down the shocking development putting his leadership under scrutiny. It starts with CNN highlighting what they describe as his growing military missteps, followed by Fox calling him out over a major false claim. Stay tuned as we uncover the backlash now building among members of the military who once strongly supported him. CNN and Fox may have briefly found common ground in criticizing Trump and leadership, but the idea that the military community is still firmly behind him does not fully hold up. According to a recent New York Times report,
It's the group that helped put him in the White House in 2016, and then again in 2024, the group that shifted tremendously from 2012 to 2016 and put him in the White House. We are talking about non-college white voters, and he is sliding right into the water. This is a rut-row moment, to quote the great Scooby-Doo. Trump's net approval rating with non-college whites. Look at this. In February of 2025, it was plus 32 points. Down it goes. Look at Johnny. Johnny is just shocked by this number, and now it is minus 2 points. That is a 34-point shift, and I will note this is an average of polls. This is not just one poll. I've averaged 3 different polls here, 3 big pollsters, and what we see is Donald Trump actually underwater with non-college whites who, of course, put him in the White House.
all in one. It's happening up to be another rough week for the president and for those concerned about standard of leadership and public accountability. The situation may be even more troubling than it first appeared. Yesterday, General Stephen Nordhaus, Chief of National Guard Bureau, testified before the House Appropriation Committee about the current state of the Guard. During the hearing, Representative Joy Morell of New York raised concern about the possibility of deploying the National Guard, ICE, or other forces to polling location during the upcoming midterm election. While Trump has framed such action as effort to protect election integrity, critics argue that using military or federal forces at polling sites would raise serious legal and constitutional issues. In response, General Nordhaus emphasized that the National Guard operates within strict legal boundaries, stating that it always follows the Constitution, law, policy, and guidance at both the federal and state level. His remarks were widely interpreted as a reminder that a deployment would have to comply with established legal limits. This aligns with recent court rulings that have placed restrictions on how and where federal authority, including the National Guard, can be used domestically, particularly in major cities, underscoring the ongoing legal debate over the scope of such power. It's important to note that while General Nordhaus signaled that the military would be bound by constitutional limit regarding any deployment to polling sites, the situation with ICE could be different. Even so, both this testimony and recent court ruling help establish a kind of precedent if any administration attempt to use federal agencies in that way. States and cities would likely challenge it immediately, and courts would have strong ground to step in. There are also practical limits. ICE simply does not have the personnel to cover polling location across large parts of the country, especially in multiple districts at once. Even attempting something like that would create major logistical challenges. Taken together, this legal and operational hurdles highlight how difficult as a strategy would be to carry out regardless of the political motivation behind it.